I listen to you, folks. Whatever you say goes on next season. So here I am, ready to talk about the most shocking moments of The Chosen Season 4. These will include the death of a major character, and it's not John the Baptist, by the way, the promotion and transformation of another character, I'm sure you all know who I'm talking about, and more. I don't want to give out all the details of my video from the start. Let's begin immediately though. Ramas Death. Yeah, when I first saw this, I couldn't believe it. I didn't think that Dallas would do this. I mean, it was out of nowhere. And mind you, there's nothing in the scripture about this, so excuse me for being shocked. For those of you who don't know how and why this happens, let me give you a quick summary. Towards the end of episode 3, after a big confrontation between Jesus and the Pharisees, the tension rises and comes to a boiling point when the crowd of people starts to become unsettled. It becomes dangerous for Jesus to be there as people start to fall among the crowd and some of them get trampled over. Gaius warns Matthew to get Jesus out of there. Jesus continues talking against the Pharisees, calling them out on their hypocrisy. Quintus orders Gaius to arrest Jesus, but he does not listen even though Quintus asks him 3 times. So Quintus decides to take matters into his own hands and plunges into the crowd himself. This is where it happens. After getting pushed around in the crowd and even falling to the ground, Quintus gets up in anger and takes out his sword only to stab Rama with it. Now, so far, I have seen very conflicting comments about the inclusion of this scene. Some people argue that it was really unnecessary and that it shadowed the importance of the biblical events that are being shown in the season. Those who didn't like the scene think that the Gospels already have a lot of excitement and that the inclusion of this scene takes the attention away from the actual things Jesus did during this time. But the others believe that this scene is important, especially considering the fact that when Thomas asks Jesus to heal Rama and bring her back to life, Jesus doesn't do it. They say that it's an important, although harsh, lesson that teaches how God doesn't always answer your prayers. It's like what happens in our lives today. You may have a relative or a loved one who is sick. You pray and pray and pray, hoping they will get better. But sometimes it just doesn't happen. And Thomas is, of course, left with unresolved anguish at Jesus later in the season when he sees Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead, but not Rama. I am now moving on to the next shocking moment of The Chosen Season 4, but meanwhile, drop a comment about your own interpretation of Jesus not healing Rama. I'm curious. Gaius' promotion and transformation. Most of us already knew that Gaius was the centurion whose servant was healed by Jesus in the scripture. But what we didn't know was what would happen before Gaius' transformation took place. Apparently, after Quintus kills Rama, Atticus puts Gaius into his place, so Gaius gets promoted, which is not something I expected at all. I only guessed it after seeing this picture of Gaius. His clothes looked almost identical to what Quintus usually wears, only different in color. In episode 4, Gaius' faith in Jesus is being showcased. He goes to Jesus and gets down on his knees, the scene we were all waiting for. He asks his son to be healed, but Gaius' faith has become so strong that he doesn't even go directly to his house to check whether his son is okay. He already knows the son is healed. He goes on a shopping spree at the market to get stuff to celebrate his son's well-being. His faith is that strong. I was quite impressed by this storyline. What about you? No transfiguration. Although this is something that did not happen, it was still shocking. Honestly, not including the transfiguration is a really bad decision. I thought maybe we would see it at the end of season 4, but that didn't happen. I know Dallas said that they wouldn't show the transfiguration, but I hoped he would change his mind or show it as a surprise. The same thing happened with the walking on water scene in season 3. I now understand more the people who criticize the inclusion of Ramas Death. Instead of focusing on her death and putting effort in showing that storyline, we could have seen the transfiguration. I believe in Dallas's talent. He could definitely pull it off. I expected to see Legion as well, the part where Jesus restores a demon-possessed man. I understand the fact that they don't have the time to show every parable or miracle, but including Legion would have been much more effective than Ramas Death. Are there parts of scripture that you wanted to see in season 4? Entry into Jerusalem. Now, throughout the video, I didn't talk about the death of John the Baptist or the raising of Lazarus or Simon getting his Peter name because they were already scenes that we knew would happen thanks to the official trailers. But Jesus' entry into Jerusalem, I was not sure about. But you should know that season 4 ends on Palm Sunday as people celebrate Jesus' arrival into the city. Familiar faces are seen as well holding palm branches. We see Jesse, Simon Z's formerly crippled brother, Joanna, and Veronica, the woman who used to bleed. A perfect way to end the season. Were there moments in season 4 where you were the most shocked, or were there scenes you didn't expect but happened anyway? Tell me those in the comments below. And if you're curious to know more stuff about Simon Peter's actor Shahar Isaac, go check that video. Don't forget to like and share. Subscribe to next season for more videos like this. See you soon!